Hey guys, my name is TK. I just want to give you a demonstration on VTP and some of the issues that you may run into in production network with VTP. Here I have a very simple layer 2 diagram that shows the topology that have a switch that be running VTP as a server mode, and then have two client switches, and then between this server and the client I have a switch that's running in transparent mode. I just want to show you a quick thing about running transparent mode, that even though the switch is running in transparent mode, as long as you have the same VTP domain configured in the VLAN database, that it would forward VTP updates between server and the client. It won't process the updates, but it would forward the updates between client and server. So on switch 2, if I do show VTP status, that you see that it's in transparent mode. For this testing purpose, I changed the domain to Cisco, and I'm going to configure the server as a VTP server, so VTP mode server, and also I'm going to configure VTP domain test. So you would see now the server is running on VTP domain test, and the clients also will be part of VTP domain test. So switch 3 is running on client mode with the VTP domain name test, and switch 4 also running on client mode with VTP domain test. Between switch 1 and switch 3, switch 4, we have switch 2 running VTP mode transparent and different domain name Cisco. So if I try to create VLANs on switch 1 and check switch 3 and switch 4, I should not see them propagated because the transparent mode switch is running on a different VTP domain. So you see I have 5 VLANs. I just created 4 VLANs, and if I check my VTP status, I would see my revision number is 4 because I just make 4 modifications to my VLAN database, and I added 4 VLANs. And if I do make no VLAN 5, you'd see that it changed from 4 to 5. And if I put it back, it should change back to 6. So basically any addition and deletions that you do to VLAN database increment the revision number. So I made a lot of changes on the VLAN database on switch 1. And if I check switch 3, I do not see that it's propagated to switch 3 or to switch 4. So I would go ahead and change the VTP domain to test. On switch 2. I may have to trigger a VTP update at this point. Let me quickly do no VLAN 4 and then VLAN 4. So our VTP status should go up in 2, which is 8. And if I check over here, it's synchronized now. It's VTP VLAN VTP configuration revision number is changed to 8, and also on switch 4. And you see the VLANs, the 5 VLANs I created. You see that the names also correspond to the VLANs that I configured with the different names. If you remember that I deleted 4 and 5 and I added again, but I didn't configure any names, so it will actually take in the default system generated names. So at this point the VTP domain is converged, and the transparent switch would only forward VTP updates between server and the client as long as it's in the same VTP domain, even though it doesn't process any VLAN database updates. These are the old VLANs that existed in the transparent switch. You don't see that 2, 3, 4, and 5 listed in this database. Alright, so at this point the VTP domain is converged. It's pretty straightforward. What I would really like to show you is the problem that you may run into with the revision numbers in the production, which is that if I take switch 3 out of the production, switch 3 is actually connecting to switch 2 trunk link through port 16. Trunk link through port 16. So I'm going to shut down port 16. And I'm going to do some modifications to my VLAN database. Now if I want to remove VLANs at this point, I cannot do it because I'm in the client mode. So say that you took this switch out of production, and basically you probably disconnected the trunk link, but not necessarily you reboot the switch or clear the configuration or delete the VLAN database. So you're working on a switch that lost connectivity to the rest of the network, and you start removing the VLANs, but you cannot because it's in the client mode. So obviously we'll put this switch back to a mode that you can modify the VLAN database, which is the server mode. So now you do no VLAN 5, and you probably end up removing all the VLANs. And say that you just kept VLAN 2. Yeah, only VLAN 1 and 2 right now. And then you decided that to connect this switch to the network or put it back to the client mode, because we did your modifications. And then you decided to connect this switch back to the production network. Now you'll notice that your revision number actually got incremented because you did changes, which is not corresponding to the revision number that the server is configured with. The server is agreed with, and also the other client switches. So the switch 4 and switch 1 as a server is switch 1 is saying that the revision number should be 8, and switch 4 has the correct VTP revision number 8. But since you took this switch 3 out of the production and did modifications, it's showing revision number 11, and also it doesn't have any VLANs 3, 4 and 5. So now to trigger an update, you do say that you add VLAN 6 to the database, and you would think that your revision number would go up 1 from 8 to 9, but essentially what will happen is that the VTP domain will synchronize to the highest revision number, which is 11, and now you can imagine what the problem is going to be, that you pretty much lost all your VLANs. You have only 1 and 2, and also here you lost 1 and you lost 3, 4, 5, and also the VLAN that you just created 6, because you had a switch running client mode silently with a higher revision number, and you wouldn't notice anything until you create a VLAN on the switch that's running on a server mode. So the thing that to be careful is about revision numbers, that when you put a switch into the network, you always have to make sure your revision number, always check the revision number revision number in the server, VTP server, and make sure you don't plug a switch to the network or trunk a switch to the network with a higher revision number than the VTP server. It doesn't matter it's running on client or server mode, as long as it's on the same VTP domain, it would overwrite the server's VLAN database, and also the rest of the clients. That would essentially would destroy or create unnecessary VLANs. Thank you.